everyone, it's me Roxanne and I'm back today with a brand new video featuring the Viking Jade 20. This is the third part in my new video series featuring this machine, and in this segment I'm going to show you how to use the buttonhole attachment. So let's get into it now. The first thing you need to do is decide which of the 4 preset buttonholes you'd like to stitch out. And they're noted in the top cover of the machine from number 30 to number 33. They're also noted in the manual in this nice chart where it shows you a picture of the buttonhole. It gives you the number of the stitch. It tells you that you need to use the buttonhole foot, which is C. It gives you suggested thread tensions depending on the weight of your fabric or the weight of your thread. And then it gives you a description of what the buttonhole looks like, as well as a description of what it could be used for. So this is a very handy guide to keep next to you to decide which of the buttonholes would be best for your project. Now I've also gone ahead and I've stitched out number 30, number 31, as well as number 32. And I'm going to stitch 33 here for my demo. And now I'm going to select number 33. Using the keypad, you press 33. And it's very important that you do press that quickly. I learned as I was practicing with the buttonholes that if you select too slowly, you won't get the number of stitch that you'd like. So that's one of my little tips, is to select number 33 quickly like that. The next couple of tips I have for you are regarding stitch speed. And here is your speed control, the minus and the plus. And if you hit the plus, it will show that 5.5 is your fastest stitching speed. And then if you go down and you press the minus button, you'll find out that your slowest speed is 5.1. You want to go up to 5.3, and that's a moderate stitching speed that I found stitches out very nicely. Now another tip is to use your start-stop button to stitch your buttonholes, because it stitches in one fluid movement instead of using your foot control where you may start and stop in between. And sometimes that can affect the look of your buttonhole. So using the start-stop button is a great feature. Here is the buttonhole foot, foot C. You can see it's marked right on the front. And in the back area here is where you're going to place your button, and slide that in until your button is secure. And that is what the machine will use to gauge the buttonhole, which is this little space between here. In another minute, I'm going to show you the buttonhole lever that you'll pull down, and that little lever travels between this space, and that's how it sizes your buttonhole to fit your button. Now I have a couple more tips before I show you how to install this foot. First, make sure that you have your bobbin inserted before you put your foot on, because it's difficult to access your bobbin while your foot is in place. And the next thing you want to do is remove the foot that's in place now. And you'll want to take your upper thread and thread it through the needle hole here before you insert it onto the machine. It's just easier if you do it before than if you try and fish that thread through the needle hole later. You just snap it into position like that. Here's a view from the left side of the machine, and now I'm going to show you how to pull down the buttonhole lever. This is the buttonhole lever, and you want to pull it straight down as far as it'll go. And that's going to travel between that area that I showed you earlier for sizing the buttonhole. Now I'm going to stitch out buttonhole number 33. Notice that I have my dot showing where the buttonhole needs to begin. So I'm going to place that where my needle will hit. And another tip that I have for you is to pull your threads to the front, because this buttonhole, these preset buttonholes, stitch from the front to the back. And you're going to see now how they stitch. So go ahead and place your presser foot down. And then remember, instead of using the foot pedal, you're going to use the start-stop button. See how it started off going back? And then it's going to come back down to the front. And then it will sew back. And lock it off at the end. And it's finished. And when you go to pick your presser foot up, this buttonhole foot will snap backwards, so be careful. And this specific buttonhole is the keyhole. See how it has a little rounded end on one side and it has a straight bar tack on the other side. And this is number 33. I wanted to show you a super secure way of opening up your buttonholes so that you won't slip and cut through either end of your buttonhole. Place a pin on the inside portion of the bar tack on both ends of your buttonhole, the top and the bottom. And working on a hard surface, take your seam ripper and pierce the center of your buttonhole like that. And then slide it forward until it hits the pin. Then turn your buttonhole around, and from the center toward the other end will open your buttonhole. Then you can take a nice little sharp pair of scissors and clean it up for any little strays that might be hanging out, like that. Super easy and simple, but this is to avoid damaging the ends of your buttonholes and a lot of heartbreak. Thank you for stopping by today and watching my latest video featuring the Viking Jade 20. I hope if you were interested in learning more about buttonholes on this machine that you'll find this information helpful. If you've liked what you've seen today, please take some time to subscribe to my channel and give me a like. Drop me a comment down below. I always love to hear what you're thinking and answer any of your questions. So as always, have a happy creative day. Bye now.